Season 53, war number 5. Today we've matched up against Nath, and then the bands today are Cassie, Ironheart, Luke Cage, Ultron, and Void. And my team today is going to be America Chavez, Photon, and Infamous Iron Man. This is the first time I have not had Mr. Negative on my war team in, I believe, 10 wars, or something close to 10 wars, so that's pretty crazy. When I was planning this one, I realized I didn't necessarily need to bring him, so I put myself on America Chavez duty because there were a bunch of fights on this map that I felt Chavez was needed for, and I have a rank 3. We had some people who had rank 3s who might be needed elsewhere, so I put myself on that duty, and yeah, this war video is going to be focused a lot on Chavez. But we're still going to have some cool fights coming from Infamous Iron Man and Photon, starting with this Sauron on Node 8. And this guy, he's largely just here to path split. He is a little bit scary with that cruelty, just because of how hard Sauron can hit if he does land a hit on you. And that's all. It's really just don't get hit, and then you should be fine in this fight. And then just make sure to keep that heal block active as often as possible. That's why you see me go very intentional with how many medium attacks I land, and how many shorter combos I do to make sure I keep those shocks placed consistently. So next up we're fighting Adam Warlock on node 17. Adam on this node, it's not that big a deal. I can see where he might be a problem, but he's not much of a problem for Chavez because it's Chavez versus the Cosmic, and I genuinely can't think of a Cosmic off the top of my head that Chavez is mediocre to bad for. She just destroys this entire class, and this Adam is definitely going to be no exception to that. So we start ramping up our dimensions. We have 2 of them now. I'm about to get the 3rd with this SP1, and then you're gonna see he's almost already dead, and we've barely started the fight. He's gonna activate his pod here, and I haven't even gotten to the SP2, so I just back off for a minute, bait his SP1, go in for the counter, and then that's gonna be it. Drop the SP2, and then first hit does a 49k crit, and that is the end of Adam. Next up, we move on to White Tiger on node 26. It's a path splitting placement, but actually a scary path splitting placement because White Tiger on this node can hit very, very, very hard with Opportunists. She already hits pretty hard because of the amount of Furies she just gets on activation on her specials, but add to that the amount of attack she's getting from Opportunists, and she's going to hit very hard in this fight. So I activated an Invul just in case, because Photon obviously is not Tactic Attack. However, she is good enough at countering Tactic to where I can just use her for this fight, because I knew I needed her for a fight coming up later. There was another Photon in my battle group I could have sent, but she was unduped, and I needed the dupe ability for that fight coming later. So I had to get Photon on my team rather than take a different science attacker. Turns out, obviously, Photon's going to do just fine because she's Photon. She's one of the best science champs in the game, and she's still really, really good at countering tactic defenders. Just because you not only kill them fast, but you just control that regen through Despair. You can also prevent miss. You can also petrify some of the power gain. She's just a good option for a lot of tactic stuff. So there we go. Next up, we're fighting Gorr on node 35. This is another matchup that's just Chavez is just objectively the best option at countering this fight, because you kind of just hit Gorr a lot, get your negative zones up to reduce the power gain from Rich Get Richer, and that's about it. We're gonna get one SP1 thrown and then probably just an SP2, and then that SP2 is gonna wipe him out. I don't even remember if I activated power backs for this fight. I probably activated 150%, because that's all I'm gonna need if I need anything. And then power backs are not gonna matter for the next Chavez fight, so I probably just used smaller ones just because I could. And yeah, that Gorr is already down, and my path fights are officially over. So we move on to the mini-boss section, starting with this Bishop on node 39. It's an iDoom versus Bishop matchup, so you already know it's gonna go pretty fast. This is Power Snack, so what's gonna happen is my armor up is gonna get nullified at the start of the fight, and once that happens, I just need to chill and trigger Power Snack via Dexterity, and then make sure that my armor does not get eaten by Power Snack afterwards. So here, Dex, he obviously throws his SP1 when I wasn't really trying to get him to, but it's all good because now that we have the armor up back, we have our tankiness and our immunities. So now we're pretty safe. It's just about, not letting Bishop go red. And then even if that's the case, we can just power burn him like this and do a ridiculous amount of power burn damage. Now, imagine if this was a 7-star Infamous Iron Man, that Bishop would already be completely dead. So yeah, that would be really cool. If I would like to pull a 7-star Infamous Iron Man, I might rank 3 him if I pulled him. But either way, he's dead just like that, and I just had to keep that heal block up as usual, and that's the fight. So next up we have Serpent on node 40. Serpent being placed on this node is usually just to hinder Symbiote Supreme, and he does a good job of that. It's just Chavez does this fight very well still, so I don't think I play this fight perfectly. I think I messed up quite a bit along the way. I'm gonna get into a bit of why as the fight goes on, but anyway, so Chavez versus Serpent, it's usually just keep 2 negative zones at all times, just keep his power gain down, and then spam your special attacks, keep him losing Cull Force and stuff like that. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to trigger Burden of Might to power drain myself, so I'm not dropping the SP2, and then I drop into his block because I was I don't know, I was like nervous or something, and then that one, that's another one that I just completely messed up. So now I'm like, okay, Grass, just use your head, use your brain, stop doing stupid stuff you don't need to do, and I'm gonna go to a special 3, which in the moment when I was power draining myself, I kind of forgot that special 3 is fine. There's like no reason I can't throw that, because it's not energy damage, so it doesn't matter that high energy diet is there. It gives me extra dimensions. The only bad thing about the SP3 is just the fight duration mechanic in war, and I'm not really worried about that in the moment. So we're gonna recover from this fight. I'm gonna mess up one more time, but largely we've got this under control now. I just want to spam some SP1s. Like there, that was where I messed up again. I thought I parried, apparently I did not parry. It's all good, I guess, because I'm gonna drop another SP3 right here. I don't have as many negative zones up as I'd like, and he definitely has more Cull Force than I'd want, so we're gonna work on that by triggering the SP3 again, giving me 3 negative zones, or I'm gonna have 3 negative zones at the end of the attack. He's gonna activate his death immunity, and then watch his power bar here. It's just going straight down, not even the max power gain reduction we could have. He's healing a ridiculous amount, but Chavez is also hitting ridiculously hard, so we can just finish him off with that heavy attack right there. So again, I did not play that fight very well. It could have been a lot faster and a lot cleaner, but at the end of the day, she got the job done, and yeah, that's about it. So next up we move on to Wiccan on node 45. I both have an Odin pre-fight and a White Magneto pre-fight from Alliance Mates. So the start of the fight is just parry heavy, because I want to get Wiccan to a bar of power while using as little hits as possible, and usually that is parry heavy, because I want to keep his power charge count as low as possible before I can start countering the special attacks. Once I start countering the special attacks, it's usually going to only go up by 1 every bar of power he crosses, generally, because he is going to gain a power charge when you counter the special, and then after that is when it's going to start to like not let him gain power charges, because the charge gain happens before the charge preventage. Anyway, all that yapping and the fight's already over. Like, those 44-second mini-boss, full health, probably didn't even need the Odin. Something I'll consider for assigning that fight again, get an Odin on another fight. We did lose the war quite badly. It was like extremely close for like the first 100 fights. Like, we both had only 3 deaths on our first 100 fights, and then like the last 50 on our end were just abysmal, unfortunately. And then we just kind of gave up at the end. Like, Nath putting up only 3 deaths is incredible. Really solid performance from them, so the morale was probably low at that point. But yeah, that's my war video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.